with a bit of luck that will be working, and we'll just see what happens. There we are. Hi Sophie, could you just tell me that you can hear me all right, darling? I can see everything else is working, but if you could just let me know that you can hear me, would be lovely, lovely, lovely. Right, let's just pop those over there. Pop that over there. And we'll wait a little bit and see who else comes in. We're getting some people coming in, so that's always cool. Thank you, my darling, that's much appreciated. So let's just put that in that overflowing bin. Make note to self, need to clear that up. Hello Elizabeth, welcome my darling, welcome, welcome. So, I gather it's at Mother's Day in the US. It's definitely not Mother's Day in the UK. That was about a month ago. However, all for everyone, isn't it? And it's nice. I am slightly warm in my conservatory. I haven't asked my lovely husband to open up the doors, which is very remiss of me because I've been in and out of here. So today we're going to be making a little project. Later on I'm going to share the secrets that I've been quietly keeping, but for the moment I'm going to keep you in suspense. We'll leave that for a bit later on. So I have got a sea themed project. In case you haven't realised, I'm sort of addicted to sea themed projects. There we are. So I have a 30cm canvas by 20cm canvas. Let me just lift that up a little bit more and see if I can fiddle that so you can see. There we are. Let's just move you down there a bit so that you can actually see the project. There we are. There we are, there we are, there we are. That's because we had to fiddle with it the other day to go live for pentart. But we'll do a bit of moving. So the setting I could have done with shrinking some of my settings, I think, in OBS, but hey ho. We didn't, so let's just pop that over there. Let's move that out of the way from there. Then hopefully more of it will be in. There we are. So I have a rather beautiful stencil in my hand, and I'm just going to add some texture into here in different places. I don't necessarily want all of it, and that is fine, she says. And I'm using modelling paste by Pentart, which will act as almost a resist. I don't want the boat, so let's just add that over there. We will have some of that, and we can give this a whiz dry. Oh, maybe we don't actually. We can add a little bit more texture in just up there, because some of this we're going to be covering anyway. There we are. Why not? Why not? There we are. So that will, I think, work quite nicely. Avoid that focal image. I'll add a bit more of that into there. There. Cool. That will work. Let's just pop that over there. I had out a lot of different stencils. Good. Now how come when you have a big pile of baby wipes out, you now can't see? Oh, there you are. Your big pile of baby wipes. There. Because if I don't clear this off here, the modelling paste will set. I don't need it on another piece of paper, so I know that it's what it's for, to push it through. But that is just fine. I don't think anything is going to take very long to dry today. That's for certain. There we are. Let's just clear that mess. Hi B, hi Sarah Jane, thank you for joining me. Hi Jan, hi Sylvia. I wonder who I've missed. Feel free to share the live if you want to anyone that you might think, or tag people in. There we are. Let's just clean that so that keeps safe. We'll just pop that out of the way. Don't think we need any. Ooh, that's sticky on the back of there. Let's just clean the back of that too then, whilst the going is good. There we are. Those can go ground floor level. We can pick this up. We'll just smooth down that side, smooth down along there. Well, it's going to be important today to lid these. Hi Lorraine. Hi Anna. There we are. I haven't seen everyone that's come in. I was slightly distracted. Doesn't take much for me to be distracted, it has to be said. There we are. And there we are. It won't be white on white for the whole of this project, I can assure you. So this is just some structure paste. We'll whistle this into here. Bottoms of the sea aren't smooth, so we don't need to have a fixed line across here. I think it won't matter. So there we are, but it will add a little bit of texture. I might have set myself a challenge for some of the other bits that I'm intending doing, but hey ho. Doesn't have to be. Don't want it too lumpy at that point, because I sort of have a plan. There we are. We'll just add a little bit of texture into there just by using the back of my palette knife to add some texture. We might need to add a bit more modelling paste into this corner. It's quite bright in here today. I apologise if that's going to cause headaches. There we are. Let's just cover some of those areas. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're going for bottom of the sea look. That's never going to be perfect, is it? There we are. There we are. I might add just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, she says, taking a large quantity of it and popping it in to there. But hey ho, there we are. It's not as if I don't have a bucket, 10 bucket loads of the stuff, having been sent 500ml pots by my lovely friends at Pentart the other week. There we are. So that will give us a bit of. So okay B, very lovely question. Let me just pop that there. So this is the texture paste, and it's a structure paste, and it's almost got a grittiness to it and a paperiness to it, so it will add a little bit more texture to the piece. It's not gritty unlike some companies, but the modelling paste is super smooth and acts almost as a partial resist. So if I pop some of that onto there, you can see it's shiny and much smoother by comparison. So we'll get two different effects with our pieces by doing that. We're going to do, that'll be some painting, because I don't want that to dry a little bit before I add anything else in. So let's just take some of these. We will be using ribbons. I've cast a whole collection. Now this is the big silicone mould from this year, from from Stamperia. Let's just leave those over there, and we're going to go back and forth. No, the texture paste won't resist, but the modelling paste does, my darling. And I've got about 25 tons of paints and mediums over here. So let's just stick that on the non-existent space that is my bathroom. And let us, I know I have, oh, there we are. Okay, so we've got a selection of neutrals and some whites for some of our shells. So that is ivory, that is tortara, which is also known as nougat. There we are. You're welcome, my darling. Good. Hello, Anne. Welcome, my darling. Thank you very much. I think if you're from the US, you might well be celebrating Mother's Day. And we have some good old-fashioned white. So there we are. So let me grab a whole collection of... we might have a little bit of pale blue as well. Why not? For good measure. So this is light blue or baby blue. Come on. They say we're using up stuff. Because I've got some darker colours, but I'm just going to base coat some of these. Because I think that would be helpful. So let's just... and then we can add some colours later on, in between doing things. There we are, we've got a little plan this afternoon for creating. There we are, there we are, there we are. So, who's going to make a guess in the comments as to what's the secret I have been keeping? No one has guessed it on the post entirely correctly. There are some comments that are near, but not exactly correct. I have been a little monkey, but with permission. And the cat is out the bag publicly, so I don't think it's an issue for me to say. There we are. It's just, shells aren't all one colour. You're pregnant. I sincerely hope not, Anne. Oh dear, at 62 that would be a flipping miracle, wouldn't it? Yeah, no, and definitely not required. Definitely not what's wanted. There we are. Definitely not. Oh dear, no, 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 no. Hi Joan, welcome my darling. Welcome, welcome. I trust everyone is well. I managed to sleep through, didn't see any of the northern lights the other day. But hey ho, I hope some of you did. The photographs are incredible that are doing the rounds. So that's always good. Let's have a couple of those. There we are. And they say we're going to mix these up anyway. They're not going to all stay the same colour, so that's okay. Let's just take some of that blue and add that into there. It will soften that off a little bit. There we are. Because I like mixing the colours up, don't I? So there we are. Gonna have a goodly mix of variation. That's going to give me some colour mixes. I'm very well, my darling, is the answer to your question as to how I am. There we are. We will add extra thoughts and processes. There we are. Let's just mix those in, make sure we've got those covered. I am being naughty with that out, but there we are. Let's just move those in together and we'll get another mixture. We might need some more of that ivory out. There we are. We're definitely going to need some more of that ivory out. So the brown that I'm using is Tortora. It's a Stamperia colour. I think it's Nougat. It's one of those colours, and it is a lovely soft colour, and it's going to allow me to have basically some neutral colours to add on top, some extra colour into these pieces later on, because they're not going to stay, as you might imagine. I'm not going to keep them necessarily in that. So these are all resin pieces that I have them primed with bonding primer, and as ever I was a bit sloppy with my bonding primer, so I've got some excess, but that's okay. So we'll just mix these in, we'll mix up our colours. It's just going to give us some softness and some variation. Because most things in nature are not a single colour. There we are, that will work for there. That's a pretty mix. Let's see if we can have a similar mix on there then. Why not? There we are. So there are lots and lots of different shells in the one mould, which is lovely. So I'm getting lots of custom colours, and that's okay, isn't it? Because I don't know, I don't think any two shells is exactly identical, is it? So there we are, we'll just do that. Yeah, sea urchin, and then we can add some colour with lots of dry brushing when they're dry. So there we are, we'll just change up the colours. Might add some waxes, we may not add some waxes, and that's also just fine as we go about it. There we are. And I've not got out any antiquing colours today, which might surprise you all, but hey ho, we haven't. I've just realised we've got a rather large shell still to paint. There we are, just pop that over there. Do the edges. But this way we're not wasting very much paint today. That's always a blessing, isn't it? There we are. And one more to do. I think we might just muddy up some of that with some white. Just pick up those colours so it's a soft base. And as I say, I will be adding other colours into these, but we're starting out with some neutrality on those. Have I got them all covered? I think I have. These are moulds, Elizabeth. They are from Stamperia's recent mould collections, I think. It wasn't necessarily a sea themed collection, and it's a large mould from Stamperia's point of view that is a silicone, and I poured them with amazing casting resin, which is my preferred resin, and then I have primed them with pentart bonding primer so that they were ready for painting. So let me just give that a little wipe, shovel some of those over there. They're not going to stay all completely very neutral. That's not the overall plan. Right, we need a little bit of, this is when I'm going to get very hot. There we are. We go with our granddaughter for the wonderful, because if it's definitely family time, isn't it? So let's just get that dried. The modelling paste is nearly dry. They're fantastic. So there are 2 Stamperia moulds with shells. One that gives you these large shells that was released this year, and one that was released with Blue Dreams in January of last year, which is a smaller silicone mould and has much smaller much smaller shells in it. There we are. And then I've got some from one of the soft moulds as well that we still need to paint, but there we are. We'll just give these a little bit of a dry, because then we can do these all in stages, because I really am going to need to have this background properly dry, because I want to add some rub-ons into my mix. They'll go on over the texture paste and the structure, the modelling paste and the structure paste, but you do need a completely dry background to do that. And then we have a whole collection of products again that you don't very often see me using, but I've been digging in my stash. Let's use the old one as that. And that's just, so this is Azzurro, so it's a blue spray, and I'm not going to spray it, partly because I don't want blue on the bottom, and it's going to be easier for me to control this with a brush. I can shovel it, move it about a bit, but as I say, I don't particularly want lots of blue wriggling down. In my piece. There we are. So that will work for that. There we are. We can take that round some of those edges, and we're going to add some colour. So easy peasy painting today. There we are. And this is aquamarine. It's a beautiful colour, Jill. As I say, I am definitely aiming to behave myself, and I am trying my best to use things up. So that is the aquamarine, because C is not one colour, is it? We have that, and we might then add some shading. Don't have a with some whites and some pearls in a minute. So this is just going to add, and they'll mix a little bit, and they'll soften down. There we are. Lots there, but hey ho, that won't matter. And we can add some more into there, and we can blur some of these edges. But as thought, my room is, it's very warm today. And you can see, I think, well, I can see, but you can't see. Let me just shovel that over there. So B, in answer to your question, you can see here the starfish. If I do that, it's going to push that away, and I'm going to have a resist, so that texture is going to show in my piece. I've got some firm edges here that I just want to soften a little bit. It's going to be a bit of a headache, I think, purely because everything is drying pretty quickly. But there we are. I can hopefully blur some of those in by adding some of that blue into there around where I've got the sharp lines. There we are. Hopefully that will cover some of that. So the spray, just because it's in a bottle and it's labelled as a spray, doesn't mean that that's how you have to use it, because you can clearly use it as a paint. So this one is graphite, and I'm just going to add some little extra bits to darken some of these areas a bit. So yes, I've got 3. I do have a white. I don't think I'm going to add that. I might add it as splatters later on. So I'm just going to add some shading into here. Mix it up a little bit. There we are. So now I've got lots of colour variation in there. There's no need to be sorry, Sheila. We all have busy lives, don't we? And it's not all possible to see everything. You know, life is too short, and with beautiful weather, actually sometimes you're better off outside, aren't you? Yeah, we are. So that one's reasonably dry. Let's just give that a mop. There we are. So I've got lots of texture now added into my background. And then I have a paint that is conveniently called gold sand, and I might not have very much of it. As you can see, I've decided today to raid my Stamperia stash and use some of that, because first world problem I get. But one of the things with, like, with being on a creative team is you tend to use the products that are provided by the team, and it doesn't matter a little bit. This isn't completely dry, and that's fine. I don't have a huge problem with that. I'll get some extra texture from my brush, and that's also cool, from amongst this. And we're going to take some other sprays in a minute anyway, and I don't have a problem if those sprays activate and merge the distance between, because you can see through the sand anyway normally, can't you? So there we are. Let's just lift those down a little bit. And that's fine. I can see that this is moving, and that's fine. So we'll just give this a little bit of adding. I'm going to knock off the bits that are loose. There we are. And then we have got, it says it's an iridescent, so this is Giallo Caldo iridescence, but it's got a sandy coloured base, so that's what I'm aiming for, and it'll add a bit of sparkle possibly if I pick up the mica, but it's going to add some colour variation, I think, into my base, and it's going to mix in with some of these other colours, and that's also cool. And I'm not then going to have a completely flat base, because that's not the look I'm wanting. So I can add some of that into there. It'll spread around a bit. I do have some browns that I might add in later on, but on the other hand we might not. So we just add some variation we can add into here. So just let's get that covered. We might need a bit more of the gold sands paint in a minute, but on the other hand we might not. So that can just spread quite happily, wick about. It will soften into the colours, but it's going to show all of that wonderful texture that I added, I think, and some of that's going to get covered anyway. There we are. So let's just pop that into there, and let's just take that along that edge, cover that up. There we are. So that can go into there. I didn't particularly want the yellow in my sea, but hey ho, there we are. Excellent. Thank you, Anna. Hello, Lamia. Welcome. Is it? So I know it's Mother's Day in America. Is it also Mother's Day in Canada? I think it might be from your question. So let's just pop that, because again it's not going to take forever to dry because of the weather. There we are. Let's just grab some of these, and then we're going to have we've got a dry brush. Yeah, we've got a dry brush. So let's just have out from here. So this is biscotto, so biscuit. That will work for some of these, I think. And we might have a little bit of chocolate. Yeah, a little bit of chocolate and a little bit of coral. Oops, that was a lot of coral, so we might be doing something up with those in a minute. Right, so let us see. Let's just pick up some of that, pop it into there, clean that off. So this is the biscotto. There we are. Very little on the brush, super simple. Don't need masses of shading from that point of view. And then let's just add some of that onto there. There we are. We might just add in just a little touch of the red. There we are. Into that. I think I'm wanting this one to be definitely more red. You see all of the texture that's all in the moulds. There we are. We can knock some of these colours back ultimately, so don't be stressing and worrying. Let's just, and we're colour mixing, so I'm just adding some chocolate into with that red, and there we are. We can now, so we're getting maybe not quite as enough chocolate in there, but there we are. So yeah, we're just custom colouring, custom mixing to dry brush, just to bring out all of that lovely detail onto there, and it will just help. And because the bases are not a single colour, then it's not going to, you know, they're all going to be slightly different, and I didn't say that you'll never be able to repeat it, but yeah, if you wanted to, I guess you could. But as I am custom mixing, I think it will be relatively harder to do that. But it's just allowing me to add in lots of detail onto these pieces without lots of effort. And I've got so many colours on that brush, I'm now going to dunk it in there to dry. And we're just going to pick up a little bit more of that biscuit colour and pop it there, so I've got a clean colour rather than a mudded colour. There we are. So let's just pop that into there. So this is a natural head brush, so it's quite a stiff brush. There we are. Which is what's allowing me to push the colour into it. Let's just pick up some of that. So we'll two-tone that shell. There we are. So I think they're beginning to look quite nice. And I might just add a little bit of blue back onto that one when it's dry. So there we are. So those are those. So as I've got that coral colour out, let me, and I'm going to swap to an ordinary brush. Let's just paint this piece of coral. Let's see if I can manage to, well, we all know I'm going to get covered, because that's what happens, isn't it, when I do painting? I get covered. There we are. Thank you, Susie. Yes, it is a very beautiful set of moulds. So the moulds are from Stamperia. This one comes from one of the soft moulds, but I have poured it with resin. I have a resin that I know doesn't get too hot and doesn't destroy the thin moulds, but do be aware that you need to know that that's the case, so proceed with caution. There we are. Because not all resins are cool set, and you might regret it if you ruin your mould. If you've got a resin that's warmer, sets quite warm. But there we are. So let's just do this. And we might have, we're going to just leave that background now to dry, because it needs to dry for me before I can pop any of the rub-ons on that I'm going to use to add extra interest to my piece, because why not? Why not? Here we are. Let's endeavour to try and get into all. So the only problem with this mould, it's beautiful, is that it's got lots of nooks and crannies to get your brush in to clean it, and that orange, this coral is stunning. There we are. So you need to look at your moulds in every single direction, from every single angle. There we are. We'll do that. We've got a few more pieces, so thinking I might have some blue coral if I can get this one open. Yes, darling, I'm using amazing casting resin. I know that it doesn't end up with a temperature that's going to destroy my moulds. So that is aviation blue. There we are, and it is my go-to, and the cheapest place that I have found it is Just Like Home Interiors, which is a furniture upcycling shop that is now also stocking some of the Zuri moulds. So that's quite a helpful activity, isn't it? Because I think, short of getting them in from Create and Craft, when they have them intermittently, it's quite difficult to get the Zuri moulds in the UK. So I thought that was a real positive when I noticed, when they said that they had got those. There we are. Hi Bev, welcome my darling. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. So I don't know if someone wants to tag the lovely Sarah Marchant. I think she often comes to watch what I'm doing, but I know that there are some conflicting lives, so that might be difficult. There we are. Cool. So there we are, one piece of blue and one piece of that. And then, controversially, we have a greeny gold. There we are. I know that I've had these paints too long because that is splitting, and avocado. So I think we've got a greeny gold. So this one is Cal 105 Militare Chiaro. So I have no idea what that means in otherwise, but there we are. So let's just wiggle that paintbrush, get most of that out of there, give it a little dry on my rainbow coloured. Now there we are. So we're going to have my usual degree of not very specific painting. There we are. that's working quite nicely. Quite nicely. I quite like the mixture of colours that I'm getting there and the blending. And I've sort of gone for, pick the colours that are in the paper and the die cuts that I've got to try and, when I was working out what colours I was going to use, if that makes sense. So there we are. He's looking quite nice. I think that's a win-win. We'll keep that so softer around the one side, and then we'll go darker on the other. So I'm going to, it just is going to add some shades and some colours, and then I can add some other bits of detail once that is dry. Excellent. So have I done? I have done. Excuse me while I just waste that inordinate amount of paint, but I'm not going to cry because I've got way too much of it. Way too much. There we are. Let's just pop those over there. Pop that over there. And then let's give that, excuse me if this is going to irritate anyone. I just need to reach over there. We'll just hope, not too scratchy, so that's not so bad. Let's just get rid of some of that gubbins from the texture paste over there. Yeah, not too scratchy nasty, so that's always a good starting point, isn't it? There we are. Good. That can go back over there. Oh, no need to be sorry, darling. No need to be sorry at all. I just hope that you've had a lovely, lovely time with your granddaughter, because ultimately that's way more important than necessarily watching all the lives. Let's just pop that over there. Let's stick those out of harm's way. That can go over there. Now, the Stamperia rub-ons are lovely and they're generally quite well behaved, but they totally and absolutely need a dry surface to go on. So we're going to add some in the background. We're going to do a little bit of some layering. I don't need it all to be dry, but I definitely need the top of this to be dry. Before I can add them. Give the structure paste a bit more of a blow heat as well at the same time. And then we'll have a try and see. And the reason I'm saying is we'll have a try is it's not completely guaranteed that it is going to be dry enough, but why not? We can. And if it's not perfect, then it won't matter. Thank you. So this is a rub-on. So let's just take this out. We're going to be extravagant today because we can be. So these are from Farrell's Songs of the Sea collection, and I know that is a flat edge, but it's going to go into there, and some of this is going to get covered anyway. So let's just see how well behaved it is or isn't going to be, because some of that on the texture paste is probably not dry enough, and that's also fine. Don't have a problem with that. As I say, I'm going to be layering other things over this anyway. Yeah, so we are going to have a bit of a battle, and that's my that is, as I say, because I haven't got it all completely dry. So before we might need. There we are. So you can see where it hasn't taken. So if I come over here, I've got bits on there, but that's fine. I'm not mithered by that. It's because some of that paste at the bottom isn't dry. So let's just give that just along that edge a bit more, because I'm going to build up a bit of a picture. And in fact, what we might do is get some wax. Yeah, I think we might add some colour variation and some waxes into some of these whilst the going is good. So there we are. Yeah, that definitely needs just a few minutes more to add in. I should be alright with that though, because I'm away from the texture paste, the structure paste, and it is the structure paste that is the problem at the moment, not anything else. So there we are. Let's just add. Might add the bubble, and on the other hand we might not, but we'll pop the bubble over there out of harm's way for the moment. Hello Annie, welcome, welcome. So let's just pop our jellyfish that's in the rub-ons onto there. So the joy of the rub-ons is that it's going to go over the texture, and because they are opaque, you can't see the layer below, so it looks like they're properly floating. So there we are. Let's just add that little bit, and if you lift off your paper carefully and slowly, then if it isn't all down, then it won't matter for you. And you can layer them over each other, which is also helpful, I think. So we're going to add, but we've got some other bits to add anyway, so let's just pop those off there, and then we can do this little bit, and we might have that can go into there. So there we go. And you won't, oh yes, you can see that. There we are. Let's just pop that into there. And then we're just going to have a little bit of a composition attempt at some of this. There we are. But I'm thinking I might want to add some extra bits and pieces. So there we are. So we're just going to mix some of these colours in. Do we want that way? It's going to sit in there quite nicely, isn't it? There we are. So that we might pop that onto there. I think that might sit in there quite nicely. Let's just add that red into there as a pop of alternative colour. There we are. So there we are. We've got those, and then we can start to add in some of these others as if they've just fallen into place in the sand, any which way. There we are, up and down, and I know that I'm going to just want to pop that down into there a little bit. There we are, and we're going to pop him, I'm going to lift that up so he's partly supported. That can go into there. We're going to add, I think we might do that. We might do that. There we are. Pop that over onto there, and then we've got that. Right. Oh, and we've got another shell that we've missed. So there we are. Let's just pop that into there. So we've got there we are. I think that looks quite nice. So one of the other things that the Stamperia do, of course, is that they have ephemera. So let's just add some more of these bits of coral into our background, and then we can build, and then we'll add some waxes and some extra details in. Oh dear, never mind Sophie, these things are sent to try us. There we are. So let's pop that into there. We can I hope you wake up feeling better. There we are. And I'm aware that none of my pieces are stuck down, and that's also intentional, because then I can move stuff around as I want to. So I'm just creating my own underwater scene. Hi Sarah darling, welcome, welcome. I hope you're well. We've got some extra, we are going to add some extra bits. We've got some extra colours. So let's just pop that. That piece can go into there. That might be setting it a trouble. There's a very high piece of modelling paste tucked under there, but there we are. We've managed to get that in and under. There we are. So what else have we got? So we've got another piece of ephemera. So that one can go into there. Now the usual, the average fight. Oh yeah, we are. Good, goody, goody, goody. So this is, I'm just going to pick the back off. If I'm off camera, it's because I'm literally picking the back off the piece of ephemera, because they're a bit of a pickle, aren't they? There we are. So I can now tuck that up and under there. That can sit onto there. And there we are. There we are. So let's just get the sticky back piece off this ephemera. We can pop that into there. I think that piece can go into there. It's looking quite nice. That's good. There we are. We'll just add these pieces in to the background. So we're just building our layers, our texture, our dimension. I'll move this down a bit, I think, because you can see me and not the project there. It's really not very helpful, is it? There we are. I'll pop that over there. Let me just move that in. There we are. That might be better. That might be better. There we are. So we've just got the little piece tucked from behind there. And let's tuck this piece underneath here. So when I was deciding my colours, literally all I did was look at the paper, the ephemera packs, and then decide, right, I can build this because I can use all of these colours that I've got. And I might just stick that one up a bit higher, because the seahorse is going to cover some of that, and that's also fine. There we are. And just because I've got everything out doesn't necessarily mean that I have to use it all, she says. Hey, and there's a very large piece that we might then layer on top. Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? She says. Particularly as I've somehow or other managed to end up with quite a few packs of the ephemera. I think there were two different ones in the collection in the first place, so that probably doesn't help my addiction, because they are one of those go-to products that I am rather loving. There we are. Oh dear, I've got circles of doom on my computer, so I do hope that that's not going to translate into a problem for everyone else. It's never quite guaranteed, is it? Never quite guaranteed. Oh no, that's better. We're back with it behaving. So I can just add and layer these, and if I want, I can carry on and build more pieces. So there we are. That's going on there. That's going on there. That's going on there. That's going on there. Right. And I might actually happen to have, because you do, some of these. Right. Goody goody. I think we've possibly got enough of those on there. And there we are. So we might then just have a little bit of a play. Okay, so let's just start adding some extra bits into here. What else have we got? I have some bits and pieces. So I don't want all of these to be completely flat coloured, so we will tidy up the mess a little bit, and then we're going to start adding some extra details. So what have we got? I have all sorts. We do have some umber, but we might stay clear of that today. So let's see. So this is the turtle green metallic wax. Yeah, absolutely, it is nautical themed. Yeah, there we are. So I can now well, that's an interesting thought process, isn't it? Well, sure, I have that out. Well, maybe I didn't. We'll just grab some heavy body gel. It's just as well everything I have is all to hand, isn't it? Oh, we might be in a position of getting rid of a pot at the end of today. That would be even better news for my poor overfull craft room. Right, let's just grab a small brush, spatula, and let's just tuck so that will sit in there. I'll get rid of some of that because that's going to be a particularly mucky mess, but there we are. So that can go there, and let's have a different colour wax for this one. So we can add, so this is just the standard gold wax that we're adding to that, just to add some extra details, and then we'll add some more. There we are. Hopefully that can go on to there. Excellent, 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 excellent. Good. That's a good starting point. I'm not sure I want to add bling to all of my shells, but I do want to add, crikey, it's warm in here, you can see how thin it is, so the pearl in there. There we are. So that can sit into there, because most seashells don't have colour, do them? Yeah, I added onto them, so that will work. And then we've got the metallic turquoise, which we're going to add into our seahorse, just for a very different vibe to the other day. And this is this is a Stamperia cut one. The blue from pentart, the turquoise is different colour altogether. So there we are. So we'll add that onto there. There we are. It's not going to stay floating. So if you, yeah, they're similar but not quite the same. So let us just have some little bits of extra messing about. So I'm wanting my seahorse to pop into here. So let's just get that out of there, and then I'm going to move this down again because I'm conscious that I've drifted up. There we are. Let's just move that down. Make sure you've caught up with me, and I can tuck I get the rest of the backing off that. There we are. So we can pop that onto there, and I think I might have him on there. And let's just move that over there. Ooh, she says, having put a finger in there. Let's get rid of. Right, where is my white gold? Let's just pop that over there, because that's not the right lid for that. We'll find that later on, because that would not be helpful. I'm going to have to do a bit of drying. So we're going to pop that onto there. Okay, so a quater lake. I don't know that the bottom of here is quite dry enough. So let us just add some of these, and then we can continue to add some of the other bits. So there we are. That can sit there. And I could choose to add some natural shells. I've got plenty, but actually with all of these pieces, I'm not going to. I'm just going to take advantage of what we have. There we are. That's going to sit there. And we can add some 3D balls if we want to fill in gaps, because that's also okay. So I know that shell will stick, because this is a piece of ephemera, so that's going to work quite nicely. And I can pop that under there, under there, under there. Stick that into there, and then we want. Did I have that there, or did I have that there? Or I think, did I have? Well, you see, this is what happens when you move stuff around, isn't it? You lose where you're up to. You lose what you're up to. That's going to sit neatly onto there. So a big blob of you under that, pop you there, pop that onto there, and you are going to sit hugged, hug that, that can sit into there. Excellent. So there we are. I think we might. Right, so we have a piece of ephemera here that we're going to tuck into there, so it's coming out from underneath. There we are, and we can pop that into there. I would quite like to get some rub-on shells in, but it's too wet. There we are, that's going to sit there. So I'm going to not worry for the moment about that. I can add some if I want to later on. So let's just put a good glob of that onto there. Might need a bit more of a glob because you're going to be at a bit of an angle. There we are. Cooly cool. There we are. Right. So now we have, what do we have? We've got some bits to add. So that is a piece of ephemera. We're going to tuck you under there. We have another crab. So let's just pop you into there. and then we're going to see where we're up to. So we've got these pieces to add into here, so I'm thinking, yeah, that one will work nicely there. So as you can see, my project is evolving as I am messing, as I'm playing. Call it what you want. That's not going to have enough of that on there. I can feel that it's not going to grab. There we are. There we are. So let's just add enough of that so it has got something to grab to. And then we've got some extra bits. So let us then have a little bit of a play. So let's just tuck that into there. I'm hoping I've been relatively quick today. It's never quite guaranteed, is it, with my lives as to quite how long we're going to end up being live for. There we are. I can tuck you, drop you into there. There we are. And now I am really very warm in my conservatory. And then we can see, where do we want? What do we want? Do we want that there? Do we want it there? Do we want it there? I think I'm actually going to pop it there, just because I think it looks nice there. So, right. I need to let this area dry now. So if I move that down, so we're backing it, I need to put some heavy body gel on Mr. Good grief, I'm almost at the bottom of a pot. Miracle of miracles. Let's just pop that all the way down there. There we are. So he's going to sit neatly on there. He'll have enough grab on there. Oops, she says. He will have enough grab on there. Let's just clear that mess over there. Right. I definitely want to get some of these rub-on shells into here, but this is too wet. So I'm going to do that off the live when it's had a proper chance to dry, because if I try and do it now, we'll just mess them all up. So there's no point in doing that when it's partially wet. So we've got an awful lot of gubbins here that we don't want to throw away. Those can go, that can go, that can go. I've got a very full bin too. That's okay. There we are. So pop that over there, pop that over there. Let us just add. I think we're going to add, instead of white splatters, we're going to add some soft blue splatters. Because why not? Well, because we can. She says. There will be her water bottle. So that's that. There we are. That was maybe a bit more than I actually intended, ladies, but there we are. So those need to settle. Get rid of that. Into there a little bit. I'll add some little bits of extra colour into that base. Right, where's me? So here is my graphite again, and you're going to go, what's she doing, what's she doing? But currently some of these are not very well grounded, so we're just going to add in some bits of shadow. It's not very often you see me doing that, but actually on this occasion I just think it's going to need, it needs it to anchor these pieces so that they're not all floating, if that makes sense. There we are. Pop that into there, pop that there, and just move that so he's back out, poking out as they do. There we are. So I've muddied up that, and that's intentional. And sometimes you just have to, and then we're going to soften that and let it drip a little. There we are. And now we can there. Okay, so here is our piece for today. It's a seascape out of my imagination, because what's better? I might see if I can find a word from the collection, the paper word. I've got those somewhere lurking at some point, and add a title. Oh, well, it probably would help if I stuck that down, wouldn't it, ladies? Did I say that? Oh dear, oh dear. It's going to be one of them days. Well, he's relatively flat, so there we are. Let's just add a bit of glue, and then I can tell you my secret, because I've been a little bit naughty, haven't I? I have. I'm aware I've been a little bit naughty, but I did it with intent. There we are. Let's just clear that mess. I've got, I don't know how many brushes now lurking over there. There we are. There we are. So, there we are. Cool. So, we have, that's on the right lid. We didn't unlid that one. That's on the right. The gold, that'll be because we've labelled that round the wrong way. That one, and then we'll have them all in the correct things. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we have one little seascape, which I'm rather happy with. I do like all things nautical. If I move that down there, right down. No, move it the other way. There we are. So we have a seascape all done. And now then, so some of you will have seen that. Thank you, Sue. That's lovely. Thank you very much. It is just about using the products and thinking about what you've got, and then adding. There we are. Cover that up. We might even then be able to see the top of it. And then layering the projects. So tell me the secret. So some of you will have seen that I posted a little peek of some MDF and also Ciao rice papers. Wow. The lovely Lou Sims has asked me to go on to Hobby Maker next Sunday, so there won't be a live next Sunday from me, because I will be on the telly boxes at 2 o'clock and 6 o'clock. There are lots and lots of different rice papers. There's different products for the two shows. There's MDF for the first show, and there's B Square for the second show. They are fabulously good quality base products. So I hope that some of you will join me there and watch and enjoy, and maybe email into the studio. I have no idea whether it's going to be a one-off show or multiple shows after this, but I was asked and I said yes. And I will be doing quite a lot more, I think, with Ciao Bella papers over the next few weeks. Because I have also been asked to create some samples for PI. So that's all rather lovely, isn't it? So thank you, ladies. It is indeed good news. So as I say, it'll be interesting, and I'm going to enjoy the journey. As I say, I have no idea how long the journey is going to be, and if it's just the one set of shows, then that will be fine too. So I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to then go and dunk myself in a bath because it's really hot in my conservatory, and now I've got sweat in my eyes, so they're salty and stinging, so that's not a good look. So I'm going to sign off now. I want to wish you all a good week, and I hope that you stay safe and enjoy whatever creating you're up to. So bye bye for now.